everyone for joining us. As mentioned, this is day one for our lunchtime live sessions as part of Post 16 Careers Week. Today we're going to be talking all about career pathways in Stockport to help start conversations and spark ideas about future jobs and career options. So let's get started. So how much do you know about career pathways in Stockport? Can you name some of Stockport's biggest employers? Do you know what these companies do or what type of people work there? And what about some of Stockport's smaller employers? We've put up on the screen a range of different logos. See if you can have a think about how many of these you recognise. You can shout out their names if you do, or just make a note of them. See if you know what sector any of these companies operate in. In some, it's obvious from the description and the tagline. For some of them, it's a little bit more obscure. You may have driven past some of these office buildings on your way to work, or seen some of these logos on the side of transport vans around the borough, or on the back of buses advertising, or on billboards, for example. So whether you're watching today in secondary school, because you're considering what subjects to study for your GCSEs, or you're currently doing your GCSEs and you're thinking about what to do afterwards, where to go to college or sixth form, for example, or what to do as your dream job after you finish education, knowing about the employers, the career paths and the jobs that are available right here on our doorstep is a really, really important place to start. What I thought we'd do is have a quick look at some of the details of the labour market right here in Stockport. So we've got almost 300,000 people living within Stockport, and around 60% of those are working age. 8 out of 10 of them are economically active, which means that they're working or in employment at the moment, which is above the UK and North West averages, which is fantastic. We have over 11,500 businesses operating here, and our largest sectors are wholesale and retail, health and social work, professional, scientific and technical, admin and support services, and manufacturing. So that might give you a little bit of an inspiration about some of the big employment areas and careers that you might want to pursue further down the line. But did you know that here in Stockport, actually 1 in 10 of our workforce is self-employed, and they work for themselves or they have their own business. And nearly 90% of the businesses in Stockport are actually micro businesses, which means that they only employ between 0 and 9 staff. So whether you're considering joining a big employer, a small firm, or setting up on your own business one day, Stockport is a really great place to live and work. And here's just some of the reasons why. So we have a thriving business and entrepreneurial economy. Sorry, I'm just admitting a couple more people. We're in a strategic location with great transport links. So we've got the train into Manchester and a hot step down to London. We've got fantastic motorway networks, and we're very close to the airport as well. We've got a range of different types of business premises, from offices to factories to warehouses, etc. We're the headquarters for national and international firms, many of whose brand names you might have recognised from our logo slideshow at the start. Our weekly salary is £40 higher than the national average. And our average gross pay is £600 per week. So not bad going to be working in Stockport when you get older. So when you're starting to consider your next steps after secondary school or after finishing college, how will knowing about the employers and the businesses and the jobs actually help you right now? Well, some of you might already have a career goal in mind. You knew from a very young age exactly what you wanted to do when you grow up. Others might have a few different options that you're considering, and others still might have absolutely no clue whatsoever. Now, let's just say that for most people, knowing what you want to do with the rest of your life is a really, really big question. Many adults still don't know, And it's perfectly common to start down one route and then end up changing your mind once or even several times later on. And that's fine. So if you're undecided, rather than think about what to do with the rest of your life and what your dream job might be, start with what comes next. You can have a think about things like what you enjoy, what you're good at, and what your interests are. Take some time to research what's available. Talk to lots of different people to find out about their experiences and advice. Chances are most of them will have done 6 or 7 different types of jobs and be able to tell you quite animatedly about the pros and cons of each with some funny stories along the way. You can use services like Prospects and the National Careers Service. You can do a personality quiz on there that gives you some suggestions of jobs or career types that could be suitable for you. They then have an A to Z of careers sections, which is an absolutely fantastic library resource to look through different types of jobs related to different industry sectors and find out what the key duties are, what skills are required, and what qualifications that you might need. You can then choose your subjects or courses that are closely linked to these careers. But don't forget that lots of courses or subjects have multiple career paths. So also think about how one route could be transferred to a different route if you change your mind later on. So as part of Post-16 Careers Week, we've put together a range of different tools to help you. Oh, just skipped back, just bear with me whilst I catch back up. Bit of a snapshot there for anybody who arrived late. So we've put together a range of different tools for Post-16 Careers Week to help you. So you just need to go onto the Stockport Jobs Match website. The URL for that is stockport-jobsmatch.co.uk. And you can scroll down to any part of our website has these little banners there for Post-16 Careers Week. Just click on one of those, or you can use the /post-16-careers-week, whichever you find is easier. Click on the student and teacher resources, and we've got the 5 different key areas that we're covering throughout the week. Today, as we've mentioned, is on career pathways. And if you click on there, firstly, you'll see a 5-minute short bite-sized video explaining loads of facts all about the different career pathways within Stockport. We also have a 10-question quiz so that you can test your knowledge about local employers and the employment landscape. And then for teachers, we also have lesson plans and PowerPoint slides. So if you want to plan a longer classroom session using some of those resources, you can tap into those as well. The other thing that we've created as part of Post-16 Careers Week to really help you find out about the potential career options that could have an impact on what A-levels or degree course you choose, whether you apply for an apprenticeship or look for a part-time job whilst you're studying, for example, is our digital event prospectus. Now you can access that in exactly the same place. You can see the little screenshot online at the moment. You just click on download the digital event prospectus, and in there you'll find an A to Z of local employers, amongst other things that we'll highlight throughout the course of the week. But today we're talking mainly about career pathways and employers. So you can just click on the virtual floor plan, any of the stands within that section, to find out about local businesses offering work experience, internships, graduate schemes, apprenticeships, part-time jobs, etc. And each of these employers has created a short exhibitor video to tell you more about themselves, about what they do, their culture and values, and the range of different job roles that they offer. So you can go on there and click on the different tabs to explore about each of the employers and also see real live jobs that they're recruiting for. Now, it's really helpful to do this so that you get an understanding of what different job titles mean, what they do on a day-to-day basis, whether specific qualifications are required, and the skills that employers are looking for. Now, in order to give you that kind of practical application of some of the employers, I wanted to briefly highlight a couple of the employers who feature today in our digital event prospectus as an example of local businesses, but also how you can use that information to inspire your future career choices. So first up, we have Nexperia. Now, Nexperia are an international company. They're based in Hazel Grove. They manufacture semiconductors that are used in virtually every electronic design, from cars to smartphones to machinery. And they have 5 plants globally and over 12,000 employees, and produce over 90 million products per year. That's quite impressive for a business that's based right here in Stockport. They have specialist teams dedicated to research, equipment and automation technologies, innovation and design, testing, production, customer service, sales, marketing, support services. Right now, they're recruiting for a part-time receptionist and an administrator, which may be suitable for some of those of you at college, or for older siblings or family members if you know somebody who's looking. But each year they offer 10 graduate placements and apprenticeships at HNC, HND level. They have their own training academy and they offer in-house scientific and technical qualifications. So if you're considering a career in scientific, technology, engineering, or even professional services like finance or HR, it might be worth finding out about this big company nearby. And you can do that by following them on social media, for example, visiting their website, or starting with our digital event prospectus and broadening the scope of your research from there to see what a career with Nexperia could offer you. Next, we have Terence Paul Hairdressing. So they have over 40 years experience with 5 salons in Bramall, Didsbury, Hale, Knutsford, Wilmslow. And they offer apprenticeships each year to those looking for a career in the hair and beauty sector. They have their own training academy where they offer professional and in-house qualifications, which take around 2 to 3 years to complete. 91% of their apprentices to go on to become qualified stylists, and their average stylist salary is £25,000 to £45,000 a year. So from Saturday helpers to work experience to apprentices, they are always on the lookout for the next raft of new talent. So they're a good one to take a look at. Next up, so lastly, in terms of the employers that we're highlighting today, we've got Stockport NHS Foundation Trust. Now, they're one of Stockport's biggest and best known employers, with sites across the borough, as well as their main site at Stepping Hill Hospital in Hazel Grove. There are over 350 different career types within the NHS, from ambulance services to doctors, healthcare sciences to social care, nursing to midwifery, pharmacy to physio. Now, while many of these require degree level or specialist qualifications, there's also plenty of jobs that require strong people skills, caring personality, and offer full training. So, for example, they offer a structured nursing cadet programme available from 16 plus, apprenticeships from levels 1 to 4, as well as work experience programmes. And they've got a lovely video on their profile from Adam, one of their nursing cadets at Manchester Met, talking about his journey with Team Stockport. So it's well worth having a look at. Right now, they're recruiting a range of different roles, from apprentice jobs through to part-time jobs in catering, portering, estates, which again could be suitable for students to fit around your studies. So some of the other employers then who are taking part in Post-16 Careers Week as virtual exhibitors include Stockport Council, who are recruiting business admin apprentices, as well as things like casual event staff for evening and weekend work. We've got Stockport Homes, based in Stockport Town Centre, who have apprenticeships, kickstart placements and offer work experience programmes. We've got Tellers in Cheadle, who have a full range of technical vacancies advertised to really inspire you on that next level of tech roles available within the Stockport Borough. We've got Together Trust, a fantastic charity also based in Cheadle, who provide support for people with disabilities and complex needs. Together with their permanent and full-time jobs, they're also on the lookout for volunteers. So they've got roles to help sort donations from charity shops, etc., and some to organise activities for their young people. We've got creative support in Stockport Town Centre who deliver person-centred care and support, including residential and domiciliary care for those with a physical disability, older people and those living with dementia. They currently have graduate jobs and apprenticeships on offer. We've got LSH Auto Mercedes-Benz, a brand that we'll probably all recognise, that's based near Stockport Pyramid. They're always on the lookout for automotive specialists, things like paint sprayers right through to mechanics, but they also recruit for salespeople, showroom hosts and customer service professionals, as well as marketing and finance jobs. We have Home Instead, another local care provider that supports people in their own homes. They're looking for care assistants and support workers, evening and weekend roles available as well, particularly those with level 2 health and social care, but also just those who have a caring personality and perhaps have experience caring for a friend or family member previously. But you do need to be aged 18 plus for many of the roles within the care sector. We have Allied Bakeries, who are based in Bredbury. They're the brand behind Kingsmill, Allinson and Sunbless brands. They're always looking for manufacturing technicians, food scientists, bakery operatives, engineers, packaging assistants and van drivers. We've got One and All, who were previously Rowlinson Knitwear, based just outside of the Heatons. Now, they're a great example of Stockport's ethical and forward-thinking employers. They champion cultural values based on putting people and the planet before profits. They are now accepting speculative applications for individuals interested in working in manufacturing or textiles. We've got Ormond Family Pubs, who own 4 pubs across Stockport. They're taking part to promote their part-time jobs for bar staff, kitchen assistants, waiting staff and chefs. And finally, Pure Innovation, which is another Stockport charity providing employment and daycare for people with learning disabilities, who will soon be recruiting for their next draft of volunteer jobs. A great way to gain experience and give your CV a boost. So hopefully that gives you a quick overview of some practical examples of just some of the fantastic employers that we have here in Stockport and the career pathways that are available that you can either apply for now, work towards, or have as your end career goal. And they've also got work experience opportunities that you could consider, volunteering roles and apprentices you can research or apply for. So you can then use some of this knowledge that you've learned today to create a career pathway plan that maps out the different steps that you'll need to achieve a particular career goal. And that's the student resource available on the Jobs Match website today. It's to challenge you to create your own career pathway plan about what your end career goal might be and how to achieve it. The benefits of having a plan are that it will make you feel a little bit more in control, breaking down a big goal into more manageable chunks. Researching will help eliminate some of those obstacles in your path, and you might also find out about possibilities that you never knew existed. Talking to just about anyone you know, as we mentioned earlier, about what they do now, how they got there and the jobs that they had previously. Is really, really useful information, whether it leads to work experience, an apprenticeship, a part-time job opportunity, or just getting some insider advice. So don't be afraid to ask, as most people will be all too willing to share their career experiences. So as I mentioned, the outcome for today could be that you've been inspired about a particular career path and that you're now able to complete a career pathway plan. And think about your next steps. So to do so, you can start with your end career goal and fill that in the circular box. With together your subject choices and your current level of qualifications, and then move forward to see where that leads. As well as qualifications, you could also think about any skills you have now or you'd need to develop and how you might build these through your hobbies or extracurricular activities, work experience or volunteering. You might find it useful to create a couple of different career paths that lead to different career goals, or maybe that lead to the same one, but through different routes. And then you can sit back and have a look at the similarities and differences between them. And then, as we mentioned at the start, if any of those paths don't work out, you can figure out the transferable routes between them. So very quickly, we all know that the jobs market's currently evolving, so it's important to also consider some of those careers of the future. Now, new industries, technologies, different ways of working are emerging all the time. Perhaps you can think about jobs that didn't exist 5 or 10 years ago, or ones that exist now but are perhaps getting a bit outdated and might be obsolete in the future. Even over the course of the past 18 months due to the pandemic, there's been lots of developments that impact on the way people work, from working from home to having meetings online to working different hours to fit around personal commitments. And there's lots of different areas that we can predict that will be big in the future. So, for example, here in Stockport, like the rest of the UK, we want to become carbon neutral. There's likely to be an investment in the green economy and a need for skilled workers in this area. Digital skills from coding to data will also be in high demand, and we have a number of technology employers, some of which we've already highlighted today, based here in our borough. There's also likely to be growth in technology and scientific industries, not least because COVID has sparked a huge surge in research and development. So according to the experts, the big areas for future job growth across the UK are in education, IT and technology, engineering, the green economy, health and social care, skilled tradespeople, artisans, sales, marketing and creative, hospitality and catering, and sports of leisure. So perhaps you want to have a think about some of the jobs in those areas, or see if you can identify any of the employers that we've referenced today that fall within some of those sectors for the jobs of the future. So that brings us to the end of today's Lunchtime Live session. So we'd like to finish by setting you a very simple daily challenge to complete either during the course of your school day or college day, or at home this evening. So what we'd like you to do is find out about one Stockport employer that you've never heard of before. Perhaps you drive past a particular office building, business park or industrial estate on your daily commute. Maybe, as mentioned at the start, you've seen a logo on the side of a van or on the back of the bus, but don't really know who it belongs to or what they do. You can ask a friend or family member or neighbour who they work for, or you could use the Stockport Jobs Match website to pick out a local business or use our event prospectus. So we'd like you to try and find out the name of the company and what they do, where they're based and what type of workplace they have. Is it an office or a factory or a warehouse or a construction site or an outdoor location? Do they have one or multiple offices? How many people work there and what types of jobs do they do? And what's the best thing about working for that company? You can share what you've learned with your teacher, with your family members over dinner or after watching telly, or with your friends later today or tomorrow. Or you can tell us about your findings on social media using the hashtag post16careers, where you can reference in the daily challenge, or drop us an email to info@stockport-jobsmatch.co.uk. We'll try to mention some of the ones that we've received in our Lunchtime Live session tomorrow.